Hey everybody, welcome to another Legion Live. I'm your host, Tim Jordan. Today, I'm riding solo. Typically on these things, I have the old homie Norm Farrar with me, and he's tied up today. But that's okay, because I wanted to talk a little bit about motivation. Maybe it's related also to like burnout and just feeling kind of lazy. And like today, it's kind of cloudy and overcast where I'm at, which always affects my mood and makes me not so, I wouldn't say ambitious, but energetic. Energetic's the right word. So I do a lot of research on performance, not because I'm very performance based and I'm not a great example of high performance, all those good things. But I'm always interested in like how to achieve more, like how to maybe maximize my time or maximize my efficiency or be able to produce something more for myself because, I don't have the Ivy League education. I don't have, a lot of work experience. Like I'm trying to figure this out like a lot of us kind of solopreneur entrepreneurs. This past weekend, I was in London and I got to spend some time with a bunch of really cool folks over there. There's some Christmas parties going on, some networking. And one day I was hanging out by myself at a restaurant and ended up talking to a group of strangers. And one of them is the performance psychologist for the English national football team, right? So the way I understand that is, you've got all these like individual football clubs in the UK, and then they consolidate one big team that represents the nation, like for the World Cup or maybe for the Olympics. And he is the team performance psychologist. So essentially what he does is he evaluates, advises, and helps strategize for these players to help them perform the best that they can, because psychology, even as an athlete, is so massively important. So it got me thinking about, this idea of, motivation and staying, tip top, zeal and aspirations, right? Because those things are important. And as the weather's gotten colder for most of us in the Northern Hemisphere, and as, we're kind of winding down like the big rush and the big work, the big operation, so to speak, for Q4, it's easy to start to dwindle down and say, oh, we have these holidays coming up, I won't do as much this week. Or, Q4 is over, we have a little bit of rest time, which leads us to sometimes being lazy. And Q1 can be massive for e-commerce. So it's actually a very, very important time to actually build your business. So we need to stay motivated. So what I've got today is I've got 10 tips, 10 ways to stay motivated. I won't go into massive detail on all of them, but they're really, really good. I'm hoping that you guys enjoy these, and I hope that you take some value in these. I will say that these aren't things that I've come up with in my vast original wisdom. These are things that just researching I've found, and I agree with all of them. I think they're interesting. Some of them I'm good at. Some of them I'm really, really bad at. I would ask you, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, the replay, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this on any of the social media platform, let us know what you think. I'll keep an eye on the comments here. You guys can comment and make sure to let me know some of your potential tips, right? Like, what do you do to stay motivated? If you have anything that you do to stay motivated, make sure to drop it in the comment section so we can discuss that. I sure would appreciate that. So let me jump into some of the 10 ways that I stay motivated. In fact, I have to do this for the thumbnail because our video editor, we relaunch this on YouTube, is going to go, Tim, why didn't you do thumbnail? So here we go. There. Now he has the 10. Cheesy, I know. All right. So the first one is to set a personal mission statement. That's one of the first things to stay motivated. And this is something I am not good at. This is something that I am terrible at. I don't document. I don't plan. I strategize in my head, but I don't write stuff down. But this is important because it will help us stay focused. And we stay focused, we stay motivated. A personal mission statement is going to be really, really important because it describes like what we want as broader goals. So if we have a broad goal of doing something and we're not staying on task, if we're not staying on target, we're going to get demotivated because deep down we know what that goal is, and we're getting so, wrapped around, and we're getting so distracted, and we're doing so many other things that main goal is not being achieved, and it's going to help us to lose motivation. So write that thing down. Write down what that goal is. Write down what that mission statement is. Tape it up to your mirror in your bathroom. Have some friends, we'll get to that in a little bit, that hold you accountable to that. Your mission statement is very, very important. Carry it with you. Read it aloud. Memorize it. If you have to tattoo that sucker on your forearm, do it, whatever it takes. The second thing is to make a plan. Norm and I talk about this all the time, although we're both not very good at it. If you don't have an actual business plan, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss goals. You're going to miss opportunities. You're not going to communicate well. So this all has to do with staying motivated, not staying organized. But hear me out. Staying motivated, you have to make a plan. If you have a mission statement without a plan, then the mission statement's useless, right? Because the business plan is what helps us actually execute the mission statement, right? We need to write it down. We need to have, constant review of it, make sure that we're following that plan. Now, we can change stuff, we can make adjustments, but make sure that you have an actual plan. So mission statement, plan, they're two related. Those are the first two on my list of 10. Equally important, very, very important. And for a lot of us entrepreneurs that are kind of creative and we run around all over the place and, we kind of think on our feet, those two things are tough, writing down a mission statement, writing down a business plan. That business plan is something I've started doing and I've seen massive relief, right? Like in my own psyche and the way that I perform and the way that I think about things, which helps me stay motivated. The third thing to stay motivated is get a routine going, all right? For some reason, I have a hard time with this, right? But when I actually fight myself and fight my own inclination to stay away from a routine and I actually force myself to do it, it definitely helps. A morning routine. It helps us get our mind and our body alerted. It helps get us focused on preparing to create new habits, right? There's this guy, John Myers, refers to as the 8 for the day routine, which is 8 things that you do every morning or every night that help you get settled. It helps you get focused. It helps you get pointing in the right direction for what you need to be doing. And when you do those things, it puts you in a mindset that will help motivate you, right? Because when you start creating these habits, and some of these things I'll get into these later, but they could be helping with sleep. They could be helping with diet. They could be helping with stress, all of those great things. It's going to help you stay motivated. So get a routine. I like a lot of different books. I'm looking back on my shelf right now. The 5 a.m. Club, this guy right here, right? This is part of my routine. Start waking up at 5 a.m. every day. Now, when I'm traveling, it doesn't necessarily happen. But getting up at 5 a.m. is one of those routines that helps me to accomplish some of these other 10 items. So number 4 on my list is to set time for yourself. We get so caught up in our business, right? We get so caught up emotionally. Our business success is our personal success. And we forget that we have to recharge. We can't be 100% all the time. And when we are 100% all the time, always think about business, we start to lose creativity. We start to get burned out, or we start to lose that drive for what we're doing, because creating a business shouldn't be our why. Creating a business should be to help us accomplish our why, right? So we have to set time for ourselves. Some people do that with thinking and meditating. I have a good friend who yesterday did some meditation, making kind of walking through a big decision she has to make. I know people that spend time for themselves exercising. They leave their phone at home. They carry an old school iPod to listen to music without the notification of the text coming in. And they spend 30 or 45 minutes every day working out, but it gives them time to clear. I love to go outdoors, whether that's hiking, whether it's getting on the boat, whether it's fishing. And I actually try to do something every Friday. Every Friday I have a block in my schedule, which is sometimes tough because if I'm running behind, it's easy to say, I'm just going to stay in the office and do this. But I actually set time apart. Maybe I pick the kids up from school and take a walk in the woods, or I get in the boat and I go fishing. Or sometimes I hate to admit this is terrible, or maybe it's not. But sometimes I take a few hours off on a Friday and I watch 3 episodes of Yellowstone or whatever show I'm binging on Netflix. Because you just have to let your mind separate itself from the constant struggle, the constant running, the constant pressure of trying to perform and accomplish and keep up and make everybody happy. You have to have that time to recharge. Another habit that you need to do, or something, kind of a tip to help you stay motivated, is to plan ahead and set reminders. I lose motivation when I'm not performing well. I lose motivation when I miss a deadline. I lose motivation when I don't accomplish something that I want to, that someone expects me to. So when I plan ahead and set reminders, it actually helps me. There are strategies like time blocking. There are strategies for changing up the tasks. Like if I have 2 tasks to do, instead of spending the morning doing it, doing one in the afternoon doing the other, I'll actually alternate the 2. So I'll spend 2 hours and then 2 hours in the afternoon, 2 hours and 2 hours. That way it's allowing my brain to not dwell on one thing. It kind of changes it up and changes the pace and creates something new throughout the day. But by planning ahead and setting those reminders, it actually helps you manage your focus, right? Set an alarm that says, get off Facebook and get back to work, right? Right? Literally do that. I was with someone in London who does that, sets little things in her calendar that actually reminds her of things, whether it's words of affirmation or it's advice that she has to tell herself. And the reason this affects motivation is when either we are stuck watching TikTok, which I tend to do, and I have an alarm on the phone that says, get off TikTok and get back to work. And I get back to work, I feel better about myself. I motivate myself. If I'm working and I get that notification, I get motivated because I go, oh crap, I didn't get sucked into TikTok today. This is amazing, right? So planning ahead and setting reminders is one of those really, really key things for staying motivated. Again, if you guys are watching, I'm going through 10 ways to stay motivated. I really want to know how you guys stay motivated. So in the comment section, let me know some of your tips. Okay, that would be awesome. So that's number 5. Number 6 is set rewards. We as humans are naturally wired to react to incentives, right? And I think that it's perfectly fair to be able to reward ourselves for accomplishments or goals or maintaining a habit, right? We should recognize those small victories and even the large, or especially the large victories. So one of the ideas that Entrepreneur Magazine actually had about creating more incentive and a reward is consider a clock that counts down your remaining life, right? This is something that, hear me out here, is interesting. And somebody else was telling me this. You only have X amount of weeks in your life, if you live to be 70 or whatever the average is wherever you are. And if you think about that, you can actually motivate yourself to get more done, but create a reward system for you for getting those things done, right? That reward system may be vacation. That reward system may be paying yourself a bigger bonus from your business. That reward system could be allowing yourself some sort of luxury or indulgence that you might not think that you should, with the understanding that we only have so much life to live, right? So by setting down like these countdown timers for our life, it puts a little fire under our butt to get things done and realize, hey, you only live once, you only have one life to live. If we're going to create general wealth through a business or create stability or get out of our 9 to 5, like we want to hurry up or retire early, whatever it is, we want to get that done soon. But it also at the same time reminds us that we have to actually enjoy life, right? We actually have to have some fun. We have to connect with family and friends. We have to mark things off our bucket list. So setting down that clock helps us stay motivated in 2 ways. It helps us to realize that, hey, we got to get off our butts and get something done. But it also allows us kind of the motivation to set rewards for ourselves. And setting those rewards allows us to not feel guilty when we do something. If you're a lazy piece of crap, you never get your work done, and you set 3 days aside to go watch Netflix and whatever, that's crappy. But if you set it as a reward, then when you've accomplished the goal that you set for yourself before you receive the reward, then it pushes you to get stuff done, and you can actually feel good about taking some time off and doing something that you want. By the way, I would never suggest setting aside as a reward for your accomplishments 3 days watching Netflix, maybe 3 days camping, something better than that. Another thing that we need to have to help stay motivated is friends, community, and engagement with friends, a mastermind, things like that. A lot of times the best motivation from us or for us comes from peer pressure, right? We can engage our friends or colleagues. We can help each other and receive as well motivation towards individual and shared goals. There are a lot of apps even that make engagement fun. There's one called Make Me, Challenged App, and Clash App with a K, KLASHAPP, right? Which is really, really cool. These are apps that allow us to hold each other accountable, set accountability goals, because a lot of times this e-commerce thing is lonely, right? A lot of times we are not understood by our friends and immediate family. We're not understood by maybe the people that we used to work with when we walk away from 9 to 5. And it can be lonely, right? And sometimes we're overwhelmed, we're drinking from a fire hose, and we just need that little bit of motivation. So having friends, having community, having a mastermind is so valuable. That's why Norm and I set up the Centurion League coaching program, right? The Centurion League is a lot of cool things. We do a lot of training. We do a lot of roundtables. We have a lot of great content and guests, but it's also accountability. We recently set up Telegram groups where our members can continuously engage back and forth. And for a lot of our group members, this is the closest thing they have to colleagues or the closest thing they have to accountability partners, being in this mastermind together. So engage your friends, engage fellow sellers or fellow entrepreneurs to hold each other accountable, and continue to also give encouragement and motivation, because the more you give, the more you're going to receive as well. The other thing that you need to do is have some sort of inspirational activities. All right. So number 8 on the how to stay motivated, make sure to set time aside for this. This could be listening to podcasts. This could be TED Talks. This could be finding self-help books, right? Reading them and setting at least a few of the tips that you get from those books or pieces of content, into your life, into your routine. Because when we are feeding on the ideas, the inspiration, the wisdom, the experience, the guidance from people around us, that's going to help us grow, right? And I know that when I just get frustrated and I feel like I can't get over this hump and I feel like, I need something in my life, a lot of times a TED Talk or a podcast, the best things for me. And I don't necessarily mean a podcast about specifically looking at, this is how you make money with cryptocurrency bots. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some of these more generalized podcasts about success or about wealth generation or about personal stability or about mental health, right? I love hearing podcasts sometimes that are just completely unrelated to business. I love history podcasts, things like that, because those things just get your brain moving differently. And sometimes they can help inspire you to maybe achieve more, change something in your life. It's the kick in the pants that you need. And all of these can lead to increased motivation. So make sure that you are, and the word that entrepreneur.com uses is indulge, right? Indulge, like soak this stuff in and really take advantage of this, indulge in inspirational activities. Another one, number 10, stay positive. Number 9. Now, I hate this. I hate when people say, oh, stay positive, because how the heck do you stay positive? Like, staying positive can be really, really tough, right? Especially if you need some help to do that. It's also tough sometimes because it is the answer to potential depression and anxiety, right? So it's become like a cliche that's almost bad. Oh, stay positive. I used to think that depression was just choosing not to be happy, right? Until I went through it myself and I realized, crap, this is a serious illness. Like, I had to have help to get out of it. So ignoring the potential negative eye rolling that some of you are giving me right now when I say stay positive, I'm going to argue that we do have to stay positive, right? There's no one size fits all answer to what makes people happy. Different people have different definitions, different theories about what makes you happy and what allows you to stay positive. But I do love staying positive by reminding myself that I could have it a lot worse. Check this out. I don't think I've ever shared this publicly, but someone recently asked me, Tim, what is this like fabric bracelet that you wear on your wrist? Right? What is this? And it's just 3 like hand woven little bracelets that I've had on my wrist now for a few years now. And when these tear up, because they'll fall apart, get more. They actually come from Guatemala. I was down in Guatemala a long time ago, or I started going a long time ago, and I was down a few years ago, and I was in this little village. I was driving around in the vehicle that I'd rented, and people are knocking on the windows trying to sell you stuff, right? And these very underdeveloped, I no longer call them third world countries. I'm weird about that. But these underdeveloped countries, people are desperate for work, and they're banging on your windows, trying to get handouts and money. Well, I was in this little village around Lake Atitlan, and this kid was knocking on my window, and he was trying to sell these things. They were just these little bracelets in groups of 10. So I rolled down my window, I had my translator ask, like, how much do you want for those? And he had a group of 10 of these bracelets. And I know how much time it took to make those. Like, I know how much time it took to sew those together, weave those together, buy the thread. Even the thread is all like woven by hand there locally, right? Like, it takes a lot of time. It takes about 4 hours to make one if they're fast, plus the cost of materials. They were selling packets of 10 of those, or little clumps of 10, for $1, $1 US. And it like hit me like a ton of bricks. 4 hours times 10 pieces. This person has spent at least 40 man hours, 40 hours making this group of 10, and they're willing to exchange that for $1. Wow. 40 hours of work plus the thread plus the dye for $1. And it was such an epiphany to me, because I realized, man, I've actually got it pretty good. Like, I'm stressing about my cryptocurrency dropping a little bit in value, or I'm stressed about I can't get this last PPC campaign working, or I'm stressed about I can't get my 20th product launch because I can't find a supplier in Mexico. 40 hours for $1. So this is one way that I stay positive, right? I remind myself to stay positive. And that reminder to me is I could have it a lot worse. right? There are a lot of people that are not as blessed as me or not as lucky as me, do not have the opportunities that I have. That helps me stay positive. Being positive helps me stay motivated. So find a way to remind yourself of some way to stay positive, some positive moment, some positive thought. Personal affirmations and mantras are great for some people. Not me. For me, I need little physical reminders sometimes to stay positive. The 10th thing on my list to stay motivated is to sleep. I think we undervalue the power of a good night's sleep. And we have to have that for personal motivation, right? I used to think that the more I stayed awake, the more I accomplished, the more successful I would be, and I would stay motivated that way. I used to think that, is the only way to succeed. I now go to bed nearly every night at 9 p.m. and I wake up at 6 if I can, right? So I know I said the book 5 a.m. club. I just try to wake up at 6 and still do the same thing, 6 a.m. club, but the same things. And I found when I get 8 or 9 hours of sleep, my mental health and stability is better. I have more energy when I am working. So yeah, I could stay up all night working and feel like crap for 6 days and not do anything effectively or productively. Or I could sleep more and be more productive in the few hours that I have. I'm also more tolerant with my family and friends. I also just generally feel better. So make sure to have sleep. That's the recharge time. And we can run ourselves ragged trying to build businesses. But if we kill ourselves doing it, it's not going to have been worth it. So get some sleep. All right, so there's my 10 things. Set a personal mission statement, make a plan, start with a routine, set some personal time for ourselves, get away, recharge, plan ahead and set reminders, set rewards for ourselves for meeting those accomplishments, engage friends, masterminds, cohorts, peers, indulge in inspirational activities, all right, TED Talks, books, podcasts, things like that, religion. Staying positive, find a way to remind yourself that things might be glass half full instead of glass half empty, and spend the appropriate amount of time getting enough sleep. All right, guys, there's my guys and gals, all you cool cats and kittens, as Carol Baskins likes to say. Those are my 10 tips for staying motivated. Hope this helps. It's a little longer than most of our Legion lives, but I try to talk fast and get this out of here. Again, this was all spawned by this conversation with this professional national soccer team's team psychologist, performance psychologist, and I realized how important it must be. Make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube that you give us a thumbs up on the video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. And please, if any of you are interested in sharing this, do so. Share any of the posts or share the videos in any groups or masterminds or communities chat. Thank you guys. See you next week on another Legion Live.